Tashtelek, this is Tibet This Week, a weekly news feature on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Central Tibetan Administration. Let's have a look at today's headlines. Political prisoner Geshe Phende Gyaltsen dies in Chinese custody. Sikyong Penpa embarks on official tour to England, USA and Canada. Central Tibetan Administration congratulates newly elected Czech President Petr Pavel. Sikyong congratulates Thiksay Rinpoche on Padma Shri Award conferment. Sikyong congratulates Padma Shri Award conferment on late Wangchu, former Minister of Arunachal Pradesh. European Parliament screens Mission Joy. Office of Tibet, London undertakes Tibet outreach work in Finland and Poland. Church settlement in Nepal concludes winter cultural training for Tibetan students. Tibetans honor U.S. Congressman McGovern. Tibet Bureau Geneva to hold virtual panel on Tibet ahead of UN Treaty Body's China review. Tragic news coming from Tibet. A 56-year-old prominent Tibetan monk from Gumba village in Litang County, Gyaltsen, who was in custody of Litang County's police station since March last year, has reportedly died on 26 January 2023 due to ill health. The authority transported his body to his native village in Gumba but prohibited people from visiting the deceased, including the imposition of restrictions on internal movement for 3 days. Following the days, the body was shifted to Beijing. According to sources, Geshe Phende Gyaltsen was arbitrarily arrested in March 2022 by the local authority and sentenced to life imprisonment. On Sunday last week, Sikyong Tsering of the Central Tibetan Administration embarked on an official trip to England, USA and Canada. Upon his arrival in England on Tuesday this week, Sikyong visited the Oxford Union, where he delivered a talk on Tibet. After England visit, Sikyong departs for the US and Canada, where he is scheduled to meet with government officials and address the Tibetan communities in both US and Canada. The official visit this time is from 29th January to 17th February. On Tuesday this week, Sikyong Tsering of the Central Tibetan Administration wrote to the newly elected President of Czech Republic, congratulating him for winning the presidential election. Sikyong expressed his hope in the new president to continue carrying forward the spirit of great Václav Havel and contribute significantly to the peace in Europe and around the world. Deputy Speaker Tsering also extended her congratulations to the new president-elect of Czech Republic, His Excellency Petr Pavel, on winning the presidential election. Deputy Speaker wrote, she is certain that the lifelong friendship of His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama and former President Václav Havel has brought Tibet and Czech Republic very close, and said she hoped that Czech Republic will continue to follow the legacy and tradition of Václav Havel by upholding the values of human rights, truth and dignity. Sikyong Tsering of the Central Tibetan Administration wrote to Thiksay Rinpoche, the incumbent head of the Thiksay monastery, congratulating the latter on the conferment of the prestigious Padma Shri Award on 25th January. Sikyong expressed an immense pride in Rinpoche's outstanding philanthropic contributions. On Tuesday this week, Sikyong Tsering wrote to congratulate Shri Jambe Wangdi, the chairman of the Department of Karmic and Adharmic, Government of Arunachal Pradesh, on Padma Shri conferment on his late father and former minister Shri Karma Wangchu. In the letter, Sikyong wrote, the Padma Shri Award is a fitting tribute to his father's life of illustrious service and recognition of his enduring legacy. His contributions to the betterment of the people and the government of Arunachal Pradesh have gained him admiration and esteem throughout India, and the Padma Shri Award is a testament to that. Sikyong remembers Shri Karma Wangchu's support for Tibetan people and Tibet. On Tuesday this week, Office of Tibet Brussels, in collaboration with the Office of Members of the European Parliament, Mekulas Peksa, President of the Tibet Interest Group, organized the screening of Mission Joy, Finding Happiness in Troubled Times in the European Parliament. Before the film started, members of the European Parliament, Petr, gave a brief introduction about how the documentary came into being. He said the choice of the film was very appropriate and timely in the current troubled times. The film invited the viewers to witness the genuine, enduring and unlikely friendship between two of the most respected contemporary leaders. The screening was attended by staffers of the European Parliament, including Mr. Vincent Metten, EU Policy Director of ICT, Representative Rinzi Chutin Genkang, accompanied by Secretary Tille Wangchu and Accountant Tenzin Norden of Office of Tibet, Brussels. Representative Sonam Farsi of Office of Tibet, London visited Helsinki and Warsaw from 23rd to 28th January to mobilize the governmental and civil society support in these two countries for Tibetan freedom movement. During his visit, he reinforced the two main messages of Central Tibetan administration. Tibet has never been a part of China, and People's Republic of China government has no right to interfere in the process of finding the next reincarnation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. During the engagements, representative also highlighted on current Tibetan concerns related to colonial boarding schools, unauthorized DNA collection, incentivized interracial marriage, and settlement of Han Chinese people and environmental destruction in Tibet. In Finland, Representative Sonam Farsi met with 5 officials of Finnish Foreign Ministry, Member of Parliament Ms. Eva Bode, and Tibet supporters. Representative also recommended adopting language aligned with the U.S. government's Tibetan Policy and Support Act 2020. In Warsaw, Representative participated in the meeting of Polish Parliament's Tibet Friendship Group, chaired by MP Monika Wolikowska, and met with the Deputy Speaker MP Malgorzata Kidawa-Bąska. The Speaker of the Polish Parliament acknowledged Representative Farsi's presence during its parliamentary session, prompting much applause in the House. He also had a meeting with the Tibetan community in Poland and visited the Tibetan Medical Center, Kama Dejin Cheling Buddhist Center, and Helsinki Human Rights Foundation in Warsaw. The Office of London in-person engagement in Finland and Poland visit happened after a long hiatus due to COVID-19. A month-long winter cultural training for Tibetan students from India and Nepal, organized by Chonjor Tibetan Settlement Office, was concluded on 27 January. The training aimed to teach students about the Tibetan language and traditions free of charge during the winter holiday. Representative Tsepri Lobun Tulku Ngawang Chotup of the Office of Tibet attended the closing ceremony of the training as chief guest, along with the special guests of Tibetan parliamentarians Tashi Thundup and Sonam Norpo. At the closing ceremony, Secretary Yangde Rinpoche from Gandhi Podang virtually addressed the gathering on the principles of Buddhism and His Holiness the Dalai Lama's vision on education and ethics. The event was attended by head of the local Tibetan schools and the heads of the other NGOs in the region. A ceremony honoring U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern for his unwavering support of the Tibetan cause was observed on 29 January in New York-based Tibetan Community Hall, Pinso Geshe. The president of the Tibetan Associations, members of the Tibetan parliamentarians, North America Representative Namgye Chudup, and Vice President of the International Campaign for Tibet thanked the Congressman for his long-standing support for Tibet in the U.S. Congress. Congressman Jim McGovern, in his address, stated his and the House support for the just cause was unwavering and assured continual support. He shared the significance of the new bill and urged Tibetan Americans to draw the support of the concerned officials to pass the bill. The event was jointly organized by the 2 Tibetan parliamentarians from North America and New York and New Jersey-based Tibetan associations. New York City Council member Julie Won, Representative Dr. Namgye Chudup, representatives of the Tibetan NGOs and heads of the religious organizations, and others attended the event, bringing the total of 500 attendees. In the lead-up to the review of China by the UN Treaty Body Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, the Tibet Bureau Geneva will organize a virtual panel on the situation in Tibet on Wednesday next week. The panel will discuss and deliberate on Tibet-focused advocacy groups' submission to the Committee on Situation in Tibet, in particular, unfulfilled promises of China in the implementation of International Covenant of Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. That is all for this week's edition of Tibet This Week. Thank you for watching Tibettv.